Call Nikki Kay.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. I'm pleased to speak on this bill, but first let me start by recognising the members across the House who have contributed to this process, including former Labour ministers. I also want to acknowledge former Speaker's recognition of the significance of this settlement to a member of this House. Minister Turia, this settlement is for her whānau, her people. Mr Speaker, occasionally in this House we're able to look back on the words we said as a new BMP, and I just want to acknowledge, in my maiden speech I said, in supporting this national government, the Māori Party MPs have shown they're not bound by rigid left or right-wing ideology in their pursuit of better lives for all Māori. And I want to acknowledge Minister Turia and the Māori Party for their purposeful and hard-working job that they are doing in walking a line which is enabling them to keep their independence as a party while making extraordinary progress for Māori. This week's announcement on the foreshore and seabed is a real achievement which guarantees access to our beaches while restoring the ability of Māori to have their fundamental right to test their rights within our court system. That is a fundamental right of all New Zealanders, and I support that. Firstly, I just want to touch on why we are actually here and why we are actually doing these settlements for all New Zealanders. Firstly, we believe that Māori are seeing benefits that settling claims in a timely fashion can bring their people, and we know that by doing this in a timely fashion we can see new jobs created and economic development unlocked. Secondly, we're doing this because we fundamentally acknowledge that there is unfairness and we need to make amends for mistakes and we need to accept each other's apologies. And thirdly, because we want to live in a country that moves beyond grievance, and we want to live in a country which empowers people. I've just got a few other comments to make. Obviously, we acknowledge that the pace that our government is working, and I acknowledge Minister Finlayson for the huge amount of work that he has done. I think previous speakers called him someone with a huge intellect and a graciousness, so I just support those comments. We've put a lot of money into speeding up the pace of these settlements, and I think people are acknowledging that. But really, this settlement is about Ngati Apa, and I acknowledge Minister Turia's comments that this is life-changing for them. There are more than 3,200 members. The historical grievances of the iwi relate primarily to the Crown's purchase in 1849 of the 260,000-acre Rangatiki Tuakina block, including the subsequent failure to adequately protect approximately 35,000 acres of reserves set aside from this transaction. And I just want to acknowledge that this settlement is the final settlement of all Ngati Apa, North Island's Ngati Apa historical claims. And it's really, I mean, Nikki Wagner actually acknowledged the fact that the package is, it includes cultural redress and financial and commercial redress. I want to acknowledge the Select Committee, in particular Tau Henare, for the way that he has led that committee. But finally, I want to, in closing, just speak to the people of Ngati Apa when I say this. Ngati Apa, Māori, ora kia koutou katoa. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.